Hey y'all, the specialty certification that I decided to look into is nutrition support certification. I've actually, within the past year, I've really thought about going to do the nutrition support certification. But as we go through the slides, then you'll realize why I haven't did it yet. So this is a picture of me when I passed my test. That was right outside the testing center, right after I passed my test. And then 9/12/2020 is the day that I passed my test. So that'll be tomorrow. And then this is another picture of me as a clinical dietitian with my white coat on. So the nutrition support certification is an independent credentialing board. It was established in 1984, and it is credentialed by ASPEN, which is the American Society for Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition. So you can get this certification. It's just going to be different from the academy. It's all on its own. So for this year in 2022, the application deadline was March 23rd and September 7th of 2022. So from this point on, it is September 11th. So as of right now, if you did not apply for the application for 2022, that means you have to wait till 2023. There are testing windows for April 23rd to May 7th was a testing window. And then October 8th to October 22nd is a testing window. So that's when you're able to take your test. The certification process, first, you're going to review what you need to review in order to apply. Then you would apply, fill out the application. You would schedule your test, then you would need to study and prepare and take your test and pass. The eligibility requirements, candidates are required to have at least 2 years of experience in nutrition support practice after obtaining professional certification and or licensure. So from everything that I'm read, it doesn't specify how long you have to be a dietitian for. It just says after you obtain your certification and or licensure, you need to practice in clinical nutrition support for at least 2 years after. But it's not just dietitians that could obtain the nutrition support licensure. It could be registered nurses, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and physicians. And for everybody, whether it's a dietitian, physician, pharmacist, registered nurse, or nurse practitioner, you have to have a valid license in your state in order to be able to take the exam. So somebody just having their bachelor's degree in nursing or dietetics would not be eligible because they don't have a licensure. You have to pass your licensure test, and it has to be active in order for you to be able to take the exam. In order to attain and recertify, nutrition support clinician certification is recognized in a 5-year period. After that 5-year period, you have to retake and pass the test in order to maintain certification. This is why I have not moved forward with obtaining the clinical nutrition support licensure. I love calculating tube feeds and TPNs. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I used to hate it, but now that I'm a dietitian, I love doing it. But that is the main reason why I haven't did it, because I know how much it would take, how much time and effort it would take to studying for the test. And then if I pass it, I'm like, yay, I passed it. But then you got to retake it and study again in 5 years. So that is what is stopping me right now. So once you obtain your certification, then of course you're going to have to get continuing education, which as being a dietitian, you have to get 75 hours of continuing education every 5 years, and it has to be submitted to the academy for them to review it. But when you do a certification, whether if it would be clinical nutrition support or renal or, some other certification, you do have to have continuing education within that certification. So I would look into any kind of continuing education that has to do with enteral or parenteral nutrition, anything to do with malnutrition. Usually when somebody's, malnourished, or if they have dysphagia, cancer, anything like that, there's a possibility that they would need some type of nutrition support. So I would look into those avenues as well. And Aspen has a big continuing education field where they have all kind of continuing education. Some of it's free, some of it you do have to pay for, but Aspen is a big component of continuing education that they do provide. So these would be the books and study materials. It's on the Aspen website that you would have to use to study the test. So the first book is like a 3rd edition. The second book is a pediatric nutrition support core curriculum. The third book is from Aspen. It's on an enteral nutrition handbook. And then Aspen also has a parenteral nutrition handbook. And these are the sources that they use to, make up the questions on the test. I did look into the results. So if you would take this test and then you would pass it, the scores are only provided for 30 days. Within that 30-day period, you have to make sure that you save your scores, because after that, they're gone. The score reports are available online. Score reports will be available approximately 4 weeks after the close of the testing period. So it's not like the RD exam where you find out right then and there. You have to wait 4 weeks. So that doesn't sound real fun. Sounds kind of nerve-wracking. And the examination fee, if you're an Aspen member, the examination fee is $330. That is more than the RD exam. It's non-refundable. If you're a non-member, then it's $430, which is still, non-refundable and stuff like that. If you wanted to reschedule the test, that would be $50. And if you wanted to transfer, like let's say in March you applied, you filled out the application in March, but you wanted to move it to the second, like September application fee testing dates, then that would be $230 to move that. So whenever you do apply to take the nutrition support certification exam, you want to make sure that you are ready, you're prepared, because it's going to cost a lot of money. So this is it. Thank you to coming to my presentation.